Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Comic-Con edition of the Human Echoes podcast. It's going to be a short interview with our friend Ellie Ann, who is author of a book that we talked about before, The Silver Sickle, and quite a few other projects that have ended up on the podcast. You should check out some of the archived episodes. Ellie Ann is an awesome author. Basically, she's a New York Times bestseller, mother, comic book writer, and about 10,000 other things that I could list here. Like, really, the list is kind of expansive. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I always love being on Human Echoes.
For sure. Like, it's awesome to actually get to interview in person, because Skype interviews are fun, but it's never quite what you're hoping for.
I know, like, these expressions say so much.
Yeah. That's part of the problem between Al and I, is that I can't see how much of a smarmy grin he's giving me in a comment, and then all of a sudden I'm like, was he serious? I don't know. But anyway,
and by the way, he has so many colors in his beard, it's kind of ridiculous.
Is it? Like, I know that I'm kind of like majestically
red, brown, white, and gray. All of them.
Alright, oh, those joys of editing.
All of them.
Alright, well, we talked about The Silver Sickle, but this is actually the first time I've talked to you where I haven't already pre-read the book. You wrote a couple of books that just kind of flew under the radar for me, and we're all of a sudden on Twitter, I'm like, wait a minute. You wrote The Fire Test and Murder at Seagrove in this Magic Academy. Like, is it going to be a trilogy, quadrilogy? Is it going to go, to 7, 10? Like, what are your plans for this? And what are the books about?
It's going to be 120.
I mean, that's ambitious. That's some L. Ron Hubbard level, additions.
Magic Academy series is 7 books. There's 2 out already, and then the third, Race to the Red Skull, is the third. This was really kind of, I think Al and I have talked about this before, after I finish a really big, heart-wrenching project, then I kind of need something light to kind of, flush my system. That's what this was, and then it was so fun that I just kept on writing it. So that's kind of why it was under the radar, was because I wasn't putting much, stock or publicity in it.
Yeah.
But these characters have been in my head since I was probably 12 or 13, so...
It's always awesome whenever you finally get to express that sort of project. I've got probably 7 or 8 different stories that I've put a couple out on the writer's reading. It's just like a little abridged thing. But their story goes so much further than that.
Yeah.
And it's fun to practice, but someday they have to just get out.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about the books?
Yes, Magic Academy is about a main character named Lace, and her and 7 other mages, each with a unique magical ability, are being trained in order to topple the evil king, and they're taking him down from the inside.
That's awesome.
So the first book, there's a spy in their midst, and they have to figure out who it is. And the second book, a spy is murdered, and they have to solve the case.
All right. You've mediated and ran a lot of panels. I see almost every month you're at some sort of con somewhere. You're traveling all over the place. You were at WonderCon not too long ago, right? Or was that a different one?
It was Planet Comic-Con. Yeah,
so just all over the place. Has there ever been a time where you were running a panel where something just absurd happened, something hilarious? Is there just any one that sticks out?
Yes, this one sticks out. So this one panelist spoke for 45 minutes, and all of us were just standing around what is going on? And this moderator is just completely embarrassed and over his head. And so that was a disastrous panel that I was on.
That sounds pretty bad.
It was so bad.
I know a lot of the moderators here are actually podcast people, because podcast people know when to be like, all right, just shut up for a little bit. The only time I've seen it go really bad here, and it was in the best possible way, was when Michael Rooker was giving a panel. Because really, you should just let him talk anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Very few people can hold a room. I bet that guy couldn't hold a room like Michael Rooker could.
Yes.
So. What's the best book that you've read this year?
Probably Howl's Moving Castle.
I saw the anime for that, but I've never read the book.
It's just a beautiful, whimsical fairy tale, and it totally engaged me.
That's awesome. What's your favorite thing about coming to conventions like this?
talking to young readers and writers. Like, it gets me so excited to be talking to these young readers who, just like the world is at their feet, and they're just learning so much and having so much fun with their story because they really see no limits the way that, old writers like we do.
Yeah.
And so I get really inspired talking to teenage writers.
I've seen that a couple times where someone will come up here and you're practically jumping to hand on the book and being like, look, you can do this, you can write, look, I did this, just keep going. There's a different level of excited that you get whenever a young writer or a young reader comes up here than you do with some of the other people. It's awesome to see.
Totally.
Let's see. Do you plan on testing the altitude and drinking thing while you're out here in Colorado?
I certainly will be.
All right.
Yeah, and Jack and Coke is my method of choice.
That's pretty much it out here. You just go with whiskey, so it all works. All right. And just so that people know, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Ellie Ann, Twitter, Ellie Ann's Words, or go to my website, ellieann.net.
That's awesome. Have a good con.